When we last had Nina Kennedy on the back page in August last year, she just claimed the pole vault world championship title in Hungary.
Oh, yes! The Australians love winners. They love grit and they love determination. And in Nina Kennedy, they have all three.
It was a remarkable achievement, but it was also shared with the reigning Olympic champion, Katie Moon, when the pair couldn't be separated after more than 4 hours of competition in Budapest's searing heat. In Paris, though, Nina was determined to stand alone. In the final, she cleared 4.8, 4.85 and 4.9 metres on the first attempt at each height. Meanwhile, Moon, who'd already missed her first attempt at 4.85, would need to jump 4.95 metres to stay alive. She couldn't. Nina had clinched the gold medal, writing her name into sporting folklore as the first Australian woman to win a field event in the history of the Olympic Games. And she joins us now, Nina Kennedy! How good is that? That history we heard there, the first woman, that stretches back to 1896. That's quite the stat, isn't it? It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I'm not much of a stat girl, but I like that one.
Mad dog. How has it How has it been, the entire whirlwind since that phenomenal day, and then, of course, going through the closing ceremony, hanging out with the rest of the athletes? How has it been for you?
It's been good. I've been running on not a lot of sleep, which is to be expected, but honestly, the days leading in and the days after my event were the best week of my whole life. I think I've peaked, and it's hard to see if I'm ever going to go higher than that.
Can I ask you, like, you're in the moment and it's so emotional. We saw the great vision. Have you watched that moment back, the coverage?
I have.
How did that feel?
Good. I think when, you know, you're out there for... The competition was 3.5 hours, and a lot of the time it just becomes a blur. And a lot of the time I have to ask my coaches, like, oh, what actually happened? Like, I don't remember. Like, what did I clear that attempt on, and what bar did I jump? So I just watched the whole competition from start to finish, and it just rejigged everything, and that's what I was feeling then, and okay, yeah.
Nina, you were last in the jumping order. What was that like, being in that position?
Yeah, it was good. You know, the pole vault is such a back and forth, and it really is a bit of an advantage if you are last. So I was last in the jumping order, and I could see the two girls, there were 3 girls left, I could see the 2 girls in front of me miss at 490. And I was like, okay, like, this is my opportunity to clear it on my first attempt and go into the lead, and, like, you're going to have to jump higher than me to win this now. So I saw it as an opportunity and I took it. So good.
So speed, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I was watching that there was a lot of lay time.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on with the equipment. They couldn't raise the bar properly. Or...
Yeah.
Did I see you were doing a handstand in the middle of... Was that you?
Probably, yeah. You know...
So did you forget? As you said, it's all a blur. But you were, and I was watching you do a handstand, and I thought, wow, you're fast. You could be a gymnast as well, which I guess helps on the pole vault. That ability to flick yourself and strength.
Yeah.
But you were just standing on your hands for quite some time.
Yeah, of course.
And you're just flicking your legs backwards and forwards. I'm going, wow, she's talented, this girl.
Well, you know, when you're out there for so long, like, you just got to keep yourself warmed up, and the pole vault is a full body exercise. So, you know, you're standing on your feet all day, and so it's like, okay, let's engage the arms, let's engage the core, let's engage everything, and that's just a nice little warm-up thing I like to do.
But how important is speed and running fast?
It's so important. I think what I do really enjoy about the event, though, is that you can jump the same bar multiple different ways. So I'm a really short jumper, I'm really quick, I have a lot of speed, and I put a lot of energy into that pole, and it flings me really high. Whereas, you know, you look at Katie, for example, or some of the other girls, they're quite tall and they're a little bit slower on the runway, but because they're taller, they have a taller pole, which means they are closer to the bar where they're gripping. So we jump the same height, but there's a million different ways to do it.
Talking about Katie, you obviously tied at the World Champs last year, and going into this Olympics, you were really vocal about what you wanted to achieve. Do you think that helped you manifest this gold medal?
Yes and no. You know, Katie and I sharing will hands down go down as one of my favourite, you know, moments. But as soon as I got back to Australia and back to reality, you know, is definitely the most asked question I had of, are you going to share again? And you know, deep down in my gut, I was like, hell no, of course I'm not going to share. Like, I want this medal, but I really felt like I had to respect what had just happened, and I do really, really respect that. But I wanted to give a polite answer, and context is really important. So, it took a lot of courage to just kind of go out and say, I want this gold medal. And it was really scary, and in a weird way, maybe it did kind of manifest itself, but I was all in, and that's what I was going to do.
So many athletes, they just don't want to put themselves out there like that in case that they don't, you know, come away with the gold medal. But the fact that you backed it up is just so phenomenal.
I think in the training environment, it was like, this is what we were talking about every single day. It was like, this is what we're going to go do. We're going to go win this gold medal. Like, we're here for nothing less. And I think, you know, when the media started, it was almost like this was the dialogue at training every single day, that it accidentally just kind of like bled into the media by accident. And I had this real attitude about me.
Tell us about the French experience, Paris, you know, the general feeling, you know, with the Parisians and the French people about the Olympic Games. It certainly came across on the television as an amazing tournament.
Yeah, it was. It was the best. You know, the Olympic Games are so special, and Paris is so special, and it was like the two most special things going together. Like, that's how it felt.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
What about the journey? Like, we say 4 years of training, but you've been at it for such a long time. When did it start? Like, what age did it start, pole vault?
Yeah, so I've been jumping for 15 years. So I think I started when I was, I don't know, 12 maybe?
Wow.
12 or 13, yeah. Yeah.
Were you terrified? Because I see pictures and I'm terrified. And we've got the photograph of you. And Brandy talked about the athleticism. Now, that straight upside down, you know, and pushing through, it's phenomenal spot. And that photograph is amazing.
Yeah, I think that just really captures, like,
It's amazing.
what we're doing. And you can see, like, my arms are so engaged and my body knows where it is in the air, and I'm just thinking, clear this bar.
What, you know, it's interesting then. Steve Hooker was calling it almost mid-jump. Oh, yes, and it was before you even got over. Like, at what point do you know, like, that you're actually going to get as high as you can, like, in terms of...
It's a good question. You know, there's so much to the jump, right? So there's the run-up, there's the take-off, there's the energy into the pole, and then there's the fling-off. So, you know, there's 4 good parts, and basically you want to line up all the energy you have on the runway into the pole, and you want to be in the right position in the air to receive that energy from the pole, and that's when you know, like, okay, I've done it, I've lined it up.
You speak of the pole, which is an amazing piece of equipment now. Does it come home with you? Because it's like a Bradman bat now. This is the pole that you got over there, got that, the record, and got the gold medal.
Yeah.
It's got to go into a museum. Have you got it home with you?
No, those things are expensive. I need to keep jumping.
What's it like when you do clear the bar? Surely there's a part of you that wants to celebrate there and then.
Yeah, of course. You know, you just want to let out this, like, insane scream, and you just want to look at your competitors and be like, yes, like, I did that. but, you know, the thing is like, you jump 490 and that is a really high bar, and you want to celebrate, but in the back of your mind, it's also like, okay, keep focused. We could be going for another half an hour, 45 minutes, you know, stay focused. So it's this weird, like, dance of excitement but focus.
What's your best jump?
491.
Okay.
So it was really
you
damn
were at your
close.
best.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't lie to you. I've been salivating the entire time. We haven't looked at the medal yet.
Yes, let's look at it.
Can we just have a little look? This is the gold medal.
Have we had a gold medal on this show before?
No. Not from this Olympics, certainly.
Not from this Olympics, but
It is. There are beautiful things, aren't they? And the part of the Eiffel Tower as well.
how heavy is that?
Very.
You can
would love
feel it. It's sensational. And just very, very quickly, you've done all that. You hold that in your hand.
Yeah.
How do you reset for what's next?
Yeah, how do I reset? You know, I'm actually going back over to Europe to do a few more competitions to close off the season. Yeah.
Jokes.
They've got good hands.
I actually thought it was on its way.
And then, you know, like, I'm gonna get home, and I'm just going to lay on the couch and reflect and spend some time with myself and do some journaling and probably re-watch the competition
Okay,
again.
so where does this go, Nina?
again.
Nina, where does this go? What's happening with this
It's
after?
been under my pillow since.
Look, you are a card carrying, no, in fact, a gold medal carrying champion. Congratulations, Nina Kennedy. Brilliant work coming up, our champ of the week. Stick around.